not with 100% certainty, but pretty damn close to it, I can tell you that it's not going to be doing the same things you've always done that will get you to the next place. You're going to have to do something different. And we may not know what that is right now, but here's the thing. I promise you it's out there.
Welcome to the Ignited Recovery Podcast, a new way forward for anyone looking for answers but feeling left out. If you've been searching for empowerment, triumph, and purpose, you've found them right here. You won't hear the same solutions, and you're not going to have any excuses to fall back on, because Ignited Recovery allows heroes to rise and become their best selves. I'm Dr. Sophie Jaffe, and I can't wait to be your guide on this journey. Are you ready to become an ignited hero?
The focus I want to put today is on the following. What if we stopped paying attention to anything that was happening outside of us? And we just said, you know what? I'm going to put it 100% on myself to change the situation that's happening right now. And that means I'm going to have to get creative. I'm going to have to think outside the box. I'm going to have to do something called suspending disbelief. As far as I know, Daniel Radcliffe is not really a wizard who can fly on a broom and cast spells with a stick, right? But when you're watching the movie, you suspend disbelief. You say, I understand he's just an actor, but I'm going to put that to the side and get into the movie. Why? Because so many of us have told we're losers and hopeless and blah, 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 all the bullshit that we've been told so many times in our lives. We believe that. I'm going to ask us to put that aside for a second and just believe that we're functional human beings who can do whatever we put our mind to. Okay? So number one, we have to get creative. Number two, we have to suspend disbelief. And number three, and this is really, really, really important, never be okay not being okay in life. Too many of us have gotten used to living a shitty life we don't like. It fucking sucks. I'd say pardon my French, but I swear all the time. So it's not really gonna help. But it sucks. We just got used to living this shitty life that we don't like. And we're so fucking used to it at this point. We just kind of imagine we're gonna be stuck in it forever. I'm begging of you, stop it. Stop being okay with it. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not promising you it's going to change next week or next month. I don't even know if it's going to change in the next 6 months, but I promise you this. If you're okay with it, it's never going to change. If you don't get it in your head that this has to be different, then we won't be able to be creative and you won't have anything to suspend disbelief about, because you're going to prove to yourself over and over and over that life is shitty. And so those are kind of, to me, the three things we're going to have to bring into this. A ton of creativity. Let's say that this circle that I'm holding in my hand right now is everything that is possible to do in the world. Right? Any action you can take is in this circle. None of us see the whole circle. We see a tiny little area right here in the corner that is everything we've done or everything we've seen other people do. We see how our parents acted, our friends acted, the people in our neighborhood, the people we've seen in movies, whatever it is we've been exposed to in our life, that's what we're aware of. And our brain doesn't know how to do things it's never seen. We either have to see it or we have to imagine it. So we've got to get creative. Because not with 100% certainty, but pretty damn close to it, I can tell you that it's not going to be doing the same things you've always done that will get you to the next place. You're going to have to do something different. And we may not know what that is right now. But here's the thing. I promise you, some of you have been with me long enough to have this proven in your own life. I promise you it's out there. You may have to look a long ass time for the tool that really feels right for you. But it's almost like finding a song you like, right? Imagine, I don't know, some of you are old enough like I am to, I've actually been to like a record store where you could actually buy records or CDs back in the day, and you would go through and you would sit there and you would look through and then you go, oh, I think I like this one. But you would have to look through or listen to a lot of other stuff before you found the stuff you like. Now everybody's lazy. We've got Spotify. It'll recommend you shit that you like based on other songs you liked before. But I'll tell you what it'll also do. It'll get you stuck listening to the same stuff all the time, right? Because it's just using your past likes to predict your future likes. So we're going to have to get creative. Number one. The second piece, as I mentioned before, when I said suspending disbelief, this is really hard for a lot of us. How many people have had many experiences in life being told what you can't do, how you're going to lose, how useless you are, or what you're incapable of? It literally changes your concept of who you are. But here's the thing I want to remind you all. You are much more the person you were before you started hearing that stuff than you are the person you became after hearing it. Because if you think about it, you had the world open in front of you, and then somebody told you who you are. And then you started limiting your idea of who you are to those things because they kept telling you it over and over and over. All those other pieces that were possible for you before, they're still there, but you ignored them because others told you they're not in your wheelhouse. That part of you is waiting, just waiting to wake the fuck up. So when I say suspend disbelief, I want us to remember that there's a part to us that needs to be woken up. The suspending of the disbelief is that it's going to wake up, right? Is that we can actually do something to bring it back out. So you're talking to a guy who, I don't share the whole story often in here, but you're talking to a guy who barely made it out of college. Literally, like, I think I had a C+ average when I graduated college. Then found himself essentially being a drug dealer for 4 or 5 years, supporting himself that way, then got arrested, then failed out of rehab, then spent a year in jail with 9 felonies on my record. And that was, 21 years ago now. But when I got out of jail, I had no prospect, nothing. My family would have been very satisfied if I got a job as a pizza delivery guy and just stayed out of prison. Everybody in my life would have been very proud of me just for accomplishing that, I promise you, because they didn't know what I could be, because I didn't know what I could be yet. It just so happened that I couldn't get a job as a pizza delivery guy because the 9 felonies held me from that. And the only thing I could do was go to school. That's it. And because of that mistake, I became a 4.0 student, ended up getting my PhD, and I'm doing what I do now. But like, if I would have gotten a pizza delivery job, we wouldn't be sitting here right now. Well, at least I wouldn't be. Maybe you would be. But I wouldn't be sitting here right now because I would have gotten a job. I promise you, if you just start believing that you can do whatever the next thing is, eventually you'll be right. And then more doors will open, and more doors will open, and more doors will open. So number 1, we got to get creative. Number 2, we've got to suspend disbelief. And number 3, we cannot get comfortable living in misery. Let's stop allowing ourselves to have that. One of the main reasons a lot of us do this, it's either because we've tried to escape it many times before and it didn't work, or, as I mentioned, a lot of people told us that we couldn't. But the bottom line is we just get habitual about feeling shitty. We wake up in the morning feeling shitty. We feel shitty in the middle of the day. We feel shitty later. And so there's this kind of malaise, right? This undercurrent of dissatisfaction that just follows us everywhere. I want you to use that like fire. Make that the gasoline, make that the fuel that ignites you, sorry to use the pun and all, to go somewhere else.
Thank you for tuning in to the Ignited Heroes Recovery Podcast. I really hope you found the information here useful and that we'll see you back here next week. And look, I want to make sure that this podcast is the most useful it can be for you, so please let me know by emailing info@ignited.com if there are any specific topics or questions you'd like to have addressed. As usual, if you like this episode, I would love for you to leave us a 5-star review and rating. Thanks, and see you next week.